Ziggity Zig talking his way out of silver game number 46. This is the rehash of the live version which came up just yesterday, and there is 10 seconds in already. I am a little bit behind because we're gonna get bling. Come on, bling. There. Yeah, good luck have. And then I say fun. So this, of course, was the PVT over on. I barely ever get told to remalter. I had no idea what to do here. So, since we've seen the early game, we've seen effectively what did happen. Now, I want to get to the parts where I'm not sure what happened. Now, the thing is, I didn't do a super forge expand or a fast expand or anything like that, but I did manage to expand okay. Now, of course, with my particular search, I'm going to go all the way around this way and find my opponent by the name of, there it is, Confringo, which I do like. That's pretty cool. I do a little bit of block off right there because if and when he does start coming out to search for me, that is when he will come up against a small wall block off type thing, sort of. No, not really. But it will be a little bit easier. And bam! Already! Oh man, command center first. So I did fall quite a bit behind already. However, the unit-wise, I mean, I did seem to do okay on macro, because when I looked at the charts afterwards, it was the army value that I seemed to do not too badly at. So there's the barracks, and I do see that second, and there's, oh yeah, there we go, 2 barracks on their way up. So I do see all of this. And what do I do to the fast expand? I start getting some cybercore up, and I move down here, and I decide that since he's not going to control me very fast, I should do something and expand myself. I thought that was alright. Decent maneuver, keep up my macro just in case. I go and I watch this tower, because this is the tower that is in between the two of us. There it is started. Do we have enough for any units? Yes, so we've got a couple of units right there. How are we doing on the old? Yeah, worker supply is fine. The army supply is just slightly ahead. That's cool. But then again, Confringo is also making some engineering bay, so probably working on quite a number of upgrades. I don't like it when people work on upgrades. That sort of sucks. Now, the lucky portion is that he doesn't really get in for scouts, so he has no idea what I'm doing. Now, what a smart person would have done would just kind of maneuver into a push with zealots. Just sort of go in and killificate him. As I'm still, well, no, it's about on par. So, continuing on with this particular macro build by the two of us, Confringo is ahead of me based on the gas play, because I don't think I took, no, I'm still not taking any gas there, and because I am only slightly ahead getting my probes out there, but if I'm not ahead, if I'm not way ahead, then the mules are going to absolutely destroy me. So pretty much not all that much going on at the moment. However, there goes another barracks, and then the factory. The upgrades are definitely on. So there's infantry armor already. Straight into so straight into Marine Marauder. Decent push. How are we doing? My worker supply is definitely ahead. I am pretty much on par. The interesting thing here is how on par am I there? Meh. Slightly on par, but look at all the different things that are actually going on. So I moved out there. I am starting to get a little bit behind in my production capabilities. I should definitely be working on a few more production buildings, since I just do not seem to be making the army required to hold up against something like this, because basically my only bet right now is just to max out army, because there's not really much I can do other than it would make sense to move in with a warp prism, because this is severely under defended. So is that, for that matter. But man, if I went in, wait a minute, did I go with a warp prism? I've played a few games since, so I'm not entirely sure what we're dealing with here. I might have gone in with a warp prism, but that's really what I should be working on right now, because as far as my scouting goes, this is where I placed it because I was worried about being dropped myself. So I worried a little bit about that. Oh, I remember what happened in this game now. Alright, so there he is with his army. My worker supply is quite a bit in front there. I believe I saved this guy, did I? Yes, I managed to save that little probe. That's excellent. So my income is slightly ahead. I'm doing much better, but the issue there is now I'm just trying to keep my units at a pretty low amount there. There is a Marine that goes off and picks off that. Wait, no. Not so much. That's kind of interesting. Okay. So he's having a look around just to see what's going on, and for some reason I just moved my observer out of the way because I could have taken out that army really fast. My army supply is only slightly ahead of Confringo's. He's bringing out a few more. Picking off that army when it was out of position would have been fantastic, but I just do not manage to do that. He's still slightly out of place, and I don't fully understand what is going on here. I'm throwing out a bunch of really awful force fields at the moment that just are not helping my case at all. And here come 3 Reapers. Let's see what these guys are doing. I'm not entirely sure. So here he comes, and he still sees that I am just eking ahead. He has a ridiculous amount of gas that he has no idea what he's doing with it. Comes out here, takes out a couple of my things. So now at this point, I am slightly supply blocked. So I need to remember to bring my Colossus with me. Come on, Colossus, what are you doing? Get the Colossus goings. And so, aha, there we go. So he has a look at that, and he's looking at that unit as we speak. Moves in with the army at the exact same time that he moves these Reapers in. And these Reapers get a whole lot of kills off. Let me just pause for a second. I think it's our workers killed. There we go. So over here, I do manage to completely destroy his army, but the problem is I lose. Well, not really destroy, because he moves out of there like a clever guy. And the only thing I can do is drag in a couple of stalkers, which helped me out. I lost 14 units, and this is when things start to go poorly for me. So now I'm down quite a bit. However, and then just because I'm dealing with that, I get everything all messed up over here, and I completely screw up where my army is, and I can totally split apart, lose both my Colossus any second now, even though I have quite a bit better army at the moment. Or at least I outnumber him. However, he's already 2-1, and I'm only 1-0. That just does not go well, so I got a little bit destroyed there, which sort of sucks. I did manage to get a few more units out, so still getting +2 on the way. Trying to get my income back in order, but it's just not working. Confringo has a ridiculous amount of resources now, so he's just grinding out units, sort of, or not. Marines, Marauders, still sticking with ground, even though there's an armory and a factory. There's 2 starports that aren't doing anything. I'm not entirely sure what the story is here. This seems to be more barracks. Yes. Wow, so that's just his response to the ridiculous amount of cash that he has at the moment. And then when I try to expand out all the way around to the side, that is when I get killed. So I'm definitely down and not doing all that well at the moment. My income is ridiculously low. I cannot do much more. For some reason there go 2 observers. Who knows why. I get a few more sentries just because I constantly forget to have sentries. I do manage to make my nexus, but the problem is there's this one little rat ass right there that I hate. As I move out against that, this is when another contingent of units come in for Confringo. I do still have a fair number. I am still getting a decent income, but the problem is I'm just not making enough units. Yeah, so it just looks like I'm losing out on that end of things. That's just a really nice sequence of units right there, and I kind of get into a bad space right here, but a few decent Guardian shields, a few decent maneuvers. He does have a much larger army than me. I do scare this one off once more, but he's just re-rallying himself up here, ready to come at me once more. This particular group is just getting cleaned up by these annoying little 2-2 Marauders, but at least I have 2 O's myself. Oh, and I somehow scrape a small win out of that, even though I'm caging way behind. Confringo already up on a very decent third army, or third base that I cannot see. However, he's not really scouting me all that well either, but he knows effectively exactly what I have, knows that I've started a third base over there, not really coming at me at the moment. But this yet another giant army, just because of the production that he's able to pump out those units. I just do not have the production capability. I should still be expanding my army, but I'm just not keeping on top of it. I do have the supply needed to do it. So that seems to be the big thing with Confringo, is that he was growing at just the right rate, that he didn't need to be doing anything else, because actually he's still not making any supply depots, and now he's supply capped at 128, which should have worked in my favor had I done anything about it. I am not sure why he kept moving up in this direction, but there you go. He did. There comes a couple of classes. I keep getting my army totally out of position. This should have worked a lot better than it did, because I had his army a little bit out of position. But the problem was I didn't bring in the rest of my army. Had I had my 2 little Colossus down here, that probably would have gone much better up here, but it just did not go my way, because meanwhile he was growing just another army over here. Still only a 2-0. Finally on 0-1, but he's about to be 3-3 in just a second. Oh, 3-3 was just finished. 3-3 was just finishing, but I did not have the units, and I knew it, so I was pretty much out of this game at that point. The income level was not too shabby. I just, it seemed... Look at this, managed to come out of it with 30 EPM, which I'm pretty happy about. It was a 20-minute game. Something happened in the middle. I really had a hard time. I lost out. I should have had that third base. In fact, I should have had the second base up faster, and I should have had the third base up faster, and I should have been protecting myself, because the problem is I wasn't protecting up around this end, so he knew that he couldn't come in down there. That was a really, really awesome move with the Reapers, by the way. Look at the oversaturation on the natural base. That's just terrible. Oh, man. So I'd like to credit this to his really nice Reaper maneuver. I don't know how I could have been ready for it. Maybe like a cannon in the back, things like that. You gotta protect yourself against drops and things like that. I didn't get back to it fast enough because he just did a really, really awesome dual maneuver where I wasn't paying attention to my minimap at the same time as I was attacking. That's what I gotta do, keep my eyes moving. Leave me a comment down below, send me an email, ziggyzig@gmail.com, or you can follow me on Twitter @ZiggyStarCraft. Stay tuned.